For this lesson, we'll listen to the audio reading of New Wedding Trends. After that, we'll look at 4.8, which is on direct and indirect objects.
Lesson 4, page 108. Reading 3.
New wedding trends. Wedding traditions are changing. More and more young couples are choosing to create a unique wedding experience for themselves and for their guests. In traditional weddings, a clergy person faces the bride and groom and reads them their vows. The bride and groom simply say, "I do," in response to this question. But more and more couples today are writing their own vows and saying them to each other in their own words. Churches, synagogues, and temples are still the most popular places for a wedding. But some couples are choosing to have a destination wedding, about 1 in 4. They get married on the beach, on a mountaintop, or other unusual places. The bride and groom send their friends and relatives an invitation, but they know many won't attend because of the expense of traveling. They tell their guests the date at least 3 to 4 months in advance. Often, they send them save-the-date cards so that their guests can make plans. Another new trend in weddings is to create a wedding based on the couple's ethnic background. For example, in an African American wedding, some couples want to show respect to their ancestors by jumping over a broom, a tradition from the time of slavery. The jumping of the broom symbolizes a new beginning by sweeping away the old and welcoming the new. Some African Americans use colorful clothing inspired by African costumes, rather than a white dress for the bride and a suit or tuxedo for the groom. One thing stays the same. The newlyweds send the guests thank you cards by mail to thank them for attending the wedding and for the gifts they gave.
Now let's look at exercise 4.8. The topic is direct and indirect objects. Some verbs can have both direct and indirect object. The order of direct objects, or DO, and indirect objects, or IO, depends on the verb we use. With some verbs, it can also depend on whether we use a noun or a pronoun as the object. Now, all of this sounds really confusing. I hope that I can clear it up for you. With some verbs, pronouns affect word order. Affect here means cause a change. Let's look at these examples. Possible word orders. He gave his wife a present. Now let's take this sentence apart. He is the subject, gave is the verb, and a present is the object. Remember, a sentence is set up SVO in most cases in the English language. Subject, verb, object. Now this is the object. So what is wife? Well, wife is called the indirect object. Here's what I mean by that. Who is he? Well, probably a man. He gave. What did he give? Did he give his wife? No, what he gave was a present to his wife. His wife was the one who received what he gave, the present. So the present is the direct object. The direct object is always directly connected to the verb. So when you want to know what is the direct object, look at the verb and ask, what is connected to that verb? if I say, he ran quickly for a mile. What did he run? Did he run a quickly or did he run a mile? He ran a mile, so a mile is the direct object, and quickly would be a descriptor or describing how he ran. He gave a present to his wife. What did he give? He gave a present, so direct object. It's connected to gave, because if you ask the question, what did he give, you would have to answer with, he gave a present. Now, his wife received the present, but he did not give his wife. It's not as if he gave his wife to someone. No, he gave a present. So present is the direct object. He gave it to his wife. What did he give? It. It is the direct object. Wife is indirect. He gave her a present. Well, did he give her to someone? No, he gave a present. So he gave a present. And her, she would be the indirect object. He gave a present to her. He gave what? A present. That's the direct object. Her is the indirect object. He gave it to her. Gave what? Gave it. It is the direct object. Her is the indirect object. So make sure that you read this information down here as well. Okay? And then, for the exercise, I would like for you to do exercise 14. Let's look at that. Fill in the blanks with the words given. Put them in the correct order. Add to if necessary. So you may have to add the word to. In some cases, more than one answer is possible. Let's look at the example. How was your cousin's wedding? Can you describe, well, the two words they give you are it and me. So it would be, can you describe it to me? What is the direct object in this sentence? Well, always look for the verb. Can you describe what? Are you describing me or describing it? You're describing it, so it is the direct object and me is the indirect object. Go ahead and finish exercise 14. Take a picture of your answers and then send them to me. Good luck.